Let me tell you what I'm up to today. It's a rainy day here. Getting ready for the weekend. There's a couple car shows I want to try to go to. But I want to get this engine compartment looking spick and span. And one thing I did was I mocked up these heater hoses. You see that's a just a standard plug, like a plumbing plug. And I had the hose just on there with a hose clamp. And it let go. It got caught in the fan, installed the engine, and it sounded like a belt squealing, and then the engine just stopped. When I pulled it out, this hose was wrapped around the fan. I was able to get it out, but what I'm supposed to do is I have these fittings, and these are the correct fittings that go in there, and they have internal threads. So what I'm doing is I'm plugging the fitting just so I don't have any hot water flowing through there, because I really don't need water in my heater core for the summer. Even though I have the correct control valve that Joe Sousa gave me, and the handle to control it, which Rick gave me in New Hampshire. So I just want to pull these plugs and put the right fittings on, and then put a hose clamp on and cut these to the right length so they don't end up in my fan again. So my plan here is to get this plug out, and I'm hoping that the vacuum there goes my wrench. Since the cooling system's sealed, the water's not going to come flying out of there when I take this plug out. And if it does, I want to put this plug back in really quick to avoid, a flood on my garage floor. But the plan is to get this in and tighten down. Like I said, this is just a plumbing plug. Did its job, kept the water in, but didn't give anything for the hose to grab onto, and the hose ended up in my fan blades. Oh, it's starting to drip, so I'm going to do this really quick, I hope, without making a mess. Yeah, right. Oh, come on, get in there. Frustrating, very frustrating. Come on, get in there. Gotcha. Well, I gotta get a rag and dry everything off now. Stand by. These are Harbor Freight shop towels or shop rags. I don't think they're very absorbent. They're more for just wiping grease up. Let me see if I can find some cotton. Yep, old t-shirt will probably work a lot better. Oh yeah. I want that nice and dry looking and clean looking for any show I go to this weekend. There's 2 shows this weekend. One's at a technical high school about 12 miles from here, back roads. I'm going to go to. Another one's at a local park. It's an antique car show. It's an annual thing. I wanted to go last year, but I wasn't ready. So I'm going to hit that one on Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday, we'll see how that goes. And there's already water way over there on the engine compartment. I guess it'll evaporate off eventually. Plug back in, clean my hoses off, clean my inside wheel wells. We'll get a wrench to tighten that fitting. All right, tighten this down with a socket, 3/4 socket. Careful I don't bang into my radiator and ruin it. That's the last thing I need. I hope my arm's not blocking the shot. Good. And then I just want to make sure what is that? 11/16. So different wrench on that. Oh, that had an adjustable wrench right behind me. One more wrench coming up. Now I just got to cut this to the right length. It's not kinked or anything. I think that looks about the right place. Put it right there. I can always cut it shorter. Oh, I lost my spot. Let's see. Right about there. Hope that's in frame. Using these PVC cutters. That goes right over there. Yeah, that looks good. Put a hose clamp on that. There we go. That right there. A 6-in-1 screwdriver. So it doubles as a nut driver. Again, I hope my shoulder is not blocking my shot. I'm trying to put out a decent video. I haven't put out anything more than a few minutes in a while. What I wanted to get was those period correct hose clamps from one of those places that supply those. No, I just noticed I got to do the one below it. I don't know if you can see that. There's not enough light. There's another one down here. I probably should have done that one first since it's lower. It's going to make a mess also, so I probably just wasted all that time cleaning, but we'll go for that next. It's the same thing. It's clamped onto a square head, so should come off pretty easily. And then I have one more correct fitting to put in. So now it's time to go after this one on the lower side. Let's see if this goes just as easy as the first one. Well, at least I didn't drop the wrench this time. Of course, it is tricky to get that wrench on there. This was a lot easier when the radiator was empty. There it goes. But again, this is going to squirt as soon as I get this thing loosened up. Standing on a step stool that's slipping out from under my feet. Let's see, where is the plug ready? I gotta get the plug ready to go back in. Where is it? Huh, there it is. Okay, right here, ready to go. Okay, that's hand tight now. Put this in my right hand, my left hand. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that or if I'm blocking it. Find out later. Oh, what a mess. Everything I cleaned up before, got to clean it again. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So I got the ratchet handy to tighten it down. Again, be careful of the radiator. I don't like swinging this thing in the direction of my radiator. There we go. Hopefully that's tight enough. The way to find out really is to start the engine, fill up the water, or the coolant rather, fill it back up again, and check it for leaks. Now, that spill wasn't as bad because there's not much on top of the block. It's just here on the top of this oil filter. And that goes there. I'm going to loosen that hose clamp up a little. And that one goes there. Yeah. Let's loosen that clamp a little. Look at that. That end doesn't look too healthy. There it goes. Should probably turn this clamp around so it's easier to tighten up. That way on there, and just check the length. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Length looks really good. Looks as good as the factory. Maybe could be better. There's supposed to be a piece that goes in here. I haven't figured out where to get that yet. So there it is, all cleaned up and dried off. I'll show you some of the other details of this vehicle, or under the hood, that I went and did. You know, the hoses go through the firewall here. I bought these grommets to, you know, go between the hose, and so they're just stuck in these big holes. You see there's still some holes in the firewall that need to be filled. I don't know exactly what goes in them as far as plugs. There's the cover for the fuses go under here. I got most of the wire looking pretty neat. This is the vacuum line for the windshield wiper, which works. This is the speedometer cable, which speedometer doesn't work, and I think it has something to do with the transmission. I really should troubleshoot that one of these days. And then I'm not really satisfied with this air filter I put in here. It never seems to sit straight. And I'm sure it's doing its job. It's got a nice tight seal. But I'm thinking of putting the oil bath back in just because it'll look better if I clean it up and paint it. And of course there's the horn, which works. And I'm just thinking maybe these plastic pieces, you know, these plastic fittings, cover them with shrink wrap. Might make them look a little better. The original original fitting, original, I guess they're fittings, electrical connections, didn't have the plastic covers on them. So it doesn't really look exactly right in a few places. Kind of jumps out at you, at least it jumps out at me. But all in all, I think it looks pretty good under the hood. All painted. That's the factory color. Scarlet Pimpernel. What a weird name for a color. But it's running pretty good. Let's see how Saturday goes. I'll post another video of me going into the car show. Thanks for watching.